Lord, let's get into it. The prison confession. Let's get right into it. The prison confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Y'all, I watched all 6 episodes. It was a 3-night event that aired on Lifetime, I believe, over the weekend. And I have so many thoughts. Y'all, if you're new here, my name is Ashley and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related. If that's your speed, honey, go ahead and join the community, join the family, hit that subscribe button, okay? But let's get right into it. Now, I had watched The Act a couple of years ago on Hulu, a great dramatic adaptation of a real crime. Where Gypsy Rose Blanchard conspired with her boyfriend, John, that's his last name, to take out Merck, her mother, who was basically holding her hostage and suffered from a condition called Munchausen syndrome by proxy, basically where the parent or caregiver makes their child sick or appear sick to gain sympathy or to gain financially, right? And so I watched that show and I was like, this is wild. I can't believe it. And so now we're actually getting to hear directly from Gypsy, and she is right on the brink of being released from prison after doing, I believe, 8 years. She got 10 years. I believe she served 8. And y'all, it was eye-opening, and it begged several questions for me. We learned so many new things. So basically, Dee Dee, Gypsy's mom, met Gypsy's dad when he was underage. Okay, let's start right there. I believe Gypsy was born, he was 17. Okay, and Dee Dee was 23. Immediately, it's problematic. Okay, do you see where I'm going with this? Later, we find out that Gypsy has accused her grandfather of some inappropriate things as well. And again, it's lining up generationally, right? So if grandpa did it and mom did it, this seems like it's a cycle of abuse within the family, okay? And trigger warning, by the way, I'll put a trigger warning note in the beginning. But so, I mean, we're kind of unfolding. We're getting to know Gypsy's original thoughts. Now, my takeaway from it, and I don't condone her actions, what she did. I know people are upset that she got out, and the guy who actually did the crime, her boyfriend, who has diminished mental capacity seemingly, you know, why is he still in and she's out? I mean, there's so many questions, but I do feel as though if Gypsy hadn't found a way out, not saying this was the right way, I really wish she would have reached out to her dad, to her stepmom, to someone who could have intervened. She would have been taken out. Like, people who have parents who suffer from that condition typically don't last because they're having needless surgeries, needless diagnosis, taking medicine that is not required for them at all. And so you can only imagine what that does to a body over a while. So basically, the story is Gypsy thinks she's sick, thinks she has leukemia. I mean, her mom's had her teeth pulled. She's had, you know, over 30 some surgeries. Like, she's been confined to a wheelchair even though she knows she can walk. That's the one thing she knows. But Gypsy eventually finds out she's not sick at all, but that her mom is making her sick or putting on. And so once she finds that out, basically she's working to try to gain independence, to try to run away. I believe she tried to run away 3 times before this happened, and every time she was brought back, she was chained to the bed. Like, you know, she was Dee Dee's meal ticket. They had a home built by Habitat for Humanity. She had gone on Make-A-Wish. Like, I mean, it was a whole ruse, okay? And so eventually Gypsy's had enough. She meets a guy on a Christian dating site. They, I guess, they fall in love. She thought that was her Prince Charming because we know that she was obsessed with Disney princesses. And they quickly conspire to take her mama out, okay? And so, he comes over, she gets him the money, comes over, she says her goodbyes to her mama, they watch one last movie together, he takes her out, he wants to violate the mom after. If he doesn't get to violate her, he wants to violate Gypsy, and so she goes along with it, and then they're on the run. But she says that she can't stand the thought that no one found her mother, and so she leaves this cryptic Facebook message that they eventually track down the IP address, find them. She stands trial. Okay, he gets life. She gets 10 years for second-degree murder. Okay, now that that's all out of the way, the documentary again is just kind of giving us her perspective. I honestly thought the act had their consent or input, but apparently it was an independent project, and so she wanted the opportunity to tell her side of things. And so again, we get more background just about the history of abuse within the family. You know, the fact that she really did love her mother. I thought that Gypsy came across as very genuine. I believe that she is remorseful. I think that she's sat with what's happened and that she's taken ownership and accountability for it. I will say there was an earnestness to her. With that being said, I believe that she'll always have to contend with the desire to manipulate because it was so ingrained in her from her mother. Like, she had master classes in how to manipulate people and how to play on sympathy, right? And play on people's emotions. And so I think that's something that she'll have to battle with and contend with. And I only hope the best for her and that she gets therapy. Towards the end of the documentary, we find her, you know, meeting a new love interest, Ryan, and them, you know, getting married while she's still locked up. A couple weeks later in talks of annulment because she's not sure. Kind of this kind of tug of war, push and pull. What can I do to see if he'll leave or if he'll stay? And you know, I don't think it's all fairy tales. Again, I hope the best for them. However, I think that it is really suspect that someone who knows you're confined, knows your story, wants to swoop in after knowing you've never lived a full free life, and they want to kind of trap you or lock you down immediately. I think that's definitely, for me, a red flag. I even think him reaching out initially saying that she was cute when he saw her in trial and stuff was really odd too, because she wasn't. She looked like a little kid. She looked like a little boy, honestly, with all of her hair gone. And it was such a traumatic, devastating, you know, type of situation to find someone cute in. Like, I don't know. That's kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Now, he may not be a terrible guy. But again, for me, those would be the red flags. I really had earnestly hoped she would have followed her stepmom's advice, which was just to wait. You know, he can be your boyfriend, y'all can date, but when you get out, be free, because you haven't really lived a full life yet. And so I know, you know, people are upset as far as the time she got versus her boyfriend at the time. And y'all, I think he needs mental help. I think he needs to be in somebody's facility forever. Based on what we know, what we've learned, and what we've heard about his ideations, about his mental health, yeah, if it wasn't Gypsy's mama, it would have been somebody else, in my opinion, y'all. But again, it's a 6-episode watch. Everything is out now on Lifetime TV and you can watch it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the documentary. Do you feel like it gave you additional insight into the mind of Gypsy Rose? What were your thoughts? If you're still here, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.